Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So we're back with a Draven supplementary guide. So the reason why this is a supplementary guide is because I feel that Draven's build actually is still the same. As in, I still think Draven with Conqueror is actually the best. Now I've tested both Conqueror and Kraken Slayer and I found that Conqueror is actually still better because Draven, what he wants is something like Bloodthirster, which gives him AD, physical vamp and crit. So Conqueror gives him AD and it gives him physical vamp. Now the physical vamp is pretty negligible, but the AD is not. And really, I tried both and I just prefer the Conqueror. So I don't think Kraken Slayer is the best build for him personally. So this is just a supplementary guide. So first up, I'm gonna go through the items, the runes, and the spells before we move on to the gameplay. So for the items, I actually start off with Stormrazor. Now this is actually kind of against my personal philosophy on Draven, which is to start off with the Bloodthirster. But personally, I think Stormrazor is better for this build because you want the attack speed to proc Kraken Slayer more often. Because Kraken Slayer is a pretty early game centric rune. Late game it kind of falls off despite scaling with bonus AD. However, the Stormrazor does give you attack speed, which helps you to proc Kraken Slayer more often, so I actually do like taking Stormrazor first when I go for the Kraken Slayer build. But honestly, after testing both builds, I don't think I'll be going for the Kraken Slayer build too much anymore, but hey, it is a viable option, so we do have to cover it in a supplementary guide. Then I like to go for the Boots of Furor. Of course, every ADC is going to benefit from this. Gives you bonus movement speed when you attack champions. And of course, for the boots, generally you go for Stasis for your enchantment. Of course, others like Protobelt, Quicksilver, and Repulsor are also options. And then you go on to the Bloodthirster. Now, there is a point of contention here to actually go for Disorder instead, going for the IE first. You could do that if you want, because IE does give you that extra crit as well as AD and the extra crit damage. So it is a sort of a more damagey second item. However, I do want the sustain from the Bloodthirster, so I do go for Bloodthirster next, which gives me of course the physical vamp, the AD, and the crit. Then I move on to the IE, and of course after that the Moral Reminder, which of course gives the armor penetration as well as the grievous wounds. Of course you can get Executioners earlier if you need it. And lastly, you finish it off with the GA. So now, of course, as I mentioned, we go for Kraken Slayer. Every 3 hits will trigger the true damage. And also you go for Champion. Now, Champion is not a very popular rune in general, but on Draven I do think that it's worth. I only take Champion on Draven because even though if I die twice, the benefits are all gone. If my Champion helps me even get 1 kill to cash in 1 time, I think the Champion is already worth it. Like, even if I die 2 times right after I get that 1 kill, getting that 1 cash in is everything. Because with Draven, the moment you get the snowball rolling, generally it's gonna keep on rolling and you're gonna get more kills instead of dying. So with Draven, really, whether you get the first kill or first death is really the most important, which is why I like to go for Champion. And also playing into that is the Nullifying Orb, which will of course give you the shield when you're in the laning phase, especially where it's really important to like block 1 or 2 autos from the enemy, which could make the difference between life and death for both you and your enemy. So Nullifying Orb it is. And lastly, for the last rune, I actually got a little bit of a special one here. I actually take Demolish now, because if you're playing Draven and everything goes well, you should be either killing your enemy laners, or at the minimum putting them low such that they have to recall and they can no longer stay in the lane. So this Demolish, despite you not building any health, is actually going to help you take a plate most of the time when you are able to proc the Demolish. So if you get a kill, you can use Demolish, proc it, get a plate, and if the enemy's recall, use Demolish, proc it, and get a plate. So that's the main use of Demolish, to further help your snowball. Lastly, spells, obviously Flash, Exhaust, you know, standard stuff. So with all that out of the way, we can move on to the gameplay. Okay, so here we have the gameplay itself. Alright, so in this matchup, we are Draven Nami, and we're against a Sona Lucian. So, as we all know, both Draven and Lucian are really strong in the early game, whereas Sona is not actually strong in the early game, and Nami is, so we should have an early game advantage. Now the main concern here is of course getting ganked by Vi, because Vi of course is a ganking jungler. She is of course really strong early game as well, and she does have a lot of CC and gap close with her Q and her ultimate. So getting ganked by Vi is our main concern, and this Vi in particular has Aftershock as well, so it's really hard to kill this Vi. So That's really our main concern. Aside from that, we basically should be all good in the laning phase. Now, as you guys can see, a small thing I did there was actually to auto attack the 2 range casters at the back and actually remove them from the equation so that I can be a little bit more aggressive and they won't be you know, shooting me in the back when I step up to attack the Lucian and the Sona. Now, as you guys can see, we didn't exactly win that first trade. I think it went alright, but I think me and Lucian did about even damage to each other, especially considering Sona's healing. So here, you guys can see we're chunking out the Sona, and we're trying to chunk out basically whoever we can. Chunking out the Sona, she's below half health. Lucian is slightly over half health, but we are taking a little bit of minion aggro. So of course the challenge of Lucian is to, Draven, is of course to juggle your axes properly. You should always have 2 axes. Sometimes you will drop one either because of your lack of mechanics or because you are forced to not go there lest you be hit by some kind of devastating CC. So here, I do get the exhaust onto Draven, trying to, Lucian, trying to actually get him low. Instead, Vi comes over to gank, and we barely escape. I barely escape with my life there. So Vi's gank not too successful. I think if she did hit her Q on me, I think I'd probably be dead there. But she fortunately missed the Q, so no CC there. She did cut off my escape route though, and yeah, there is that. So now both my sums are down. I can't be as aggressive anymore. Lucian still have both sums up, and Sona still has flash. So me and Nami used up basically everything aside from Nami's flash. So that's kind of a bummer when you're playing like a Draven lane and you sort of have this kind of scenario where you get ganked and basically you're in a bad position because of it. So basically the best counter to Draven comes from your jungler. If the jungler just ganks the Draven, he's either gonna die or he's gonna blow everything. And if he blows everything, his kill pressure is kind of gone out the window. So that is kind of what you should do when you're up against a Draven. So anyways, here, without our subs, we're gonna, take the walk of shame back to lane. Although we didn't die though, so that's all good. So here, we're just gonna go back to lane. Lucian sees us coming, dashes out of the way, and yeah, we're just gonna go back to farming minions and trying to be aggressive onto the Lucian Sona lane. So here we can see Vi mid, so we know that it's safe to actually be a little bit more aggressive. Sona also coming back, I believe, from mid. Here we get an auto attack onto the Draven. Every free auto attack you can take, of course you do want to take it. And yeah, we're just going to pop the fruit so that he is forced to basically take the fruit whether he wants to or not. And yeah, we're just going to continue on with the aggression. Vi, I believe, is on the bot side of the map. So we are all good to continue on this aggression. So here, nice bubble lands onto Sona, but she's under tower. Yeah, Vi, as you guys can see, did gank on the bot side of the map. Here I get hit by Sona's ultimate. Here I ult to kill the Sona with both parts of my ultimate, and Lucian escapes with a sliver of HP. So, really quite nice there. We were able to kill the squishy Sona with the ult, both incoming and outgoing parts of the ultimate, and we are able to cash in, which is of course what Draven wants. Allows me to pick up my entire Storm Razor as well as picking up my boots. So really good start to the lane. Despite having basically no sums, we are able to get the kill, and now our sums are back up. So as you guys can see, we have both the exhaust as well as the flash. So this is going to help us snowball our lead even further and get the kills. Lucian now doesn't have exhaust anymore. Sona doesn't have flash anymore, so they are kind of sitting ducks at the moment. So Lucian with a dash in. Here we're just basically using everything to try to kill him, but he lives on 1 HP again. We're going to need one more auto attack to kill him, but we're going to have to flash under tower to do that, which we are not going to do. Because it's of course really risky. We weren't sure if Sona had ultimate. Now on the replay you can see that she didn't actually have her ultimate. But of course in the game I wasn't sure. I didn't want to do anything too reckless. We instead get a plate, but not quite able to proc Demolish, because you can't be greedy for the Demolish proc, because if you do that, you will likely get wrecked by the enemy team, to put it simply, because it does take quite a number of seconds to actually proc the Demolish, and in that time you're going to take a lot of damage from the enemy team. So here is a prime example. Here you guys can see I'm trying to proc the Demolish. The Vi shows up only halfway through my Demolish, trying to get procced, and I get ganked, so I'm gonna have to back off. No kill threat on me there, but I was put to 1/3 health because of it. Gonna take the fruit to recuperate a little bit of my health. And basically we're kind of getting destroyed by the enemy team, so I'm going to have to flash out, launching my ultimate just to do a little bit of damage. And Lucian with the culling onto the Nami as well as the Shyvana, but all three of us survive. However, we do end up having to give up the dragon, and we have to instead just back off and recall, and Shyvana is instead going for the Herald. Now, the only good news about this is that in the meantime, Fiora is getting quite a number of plates. So, on the crossmap, Fiora is actually able to pick up quite a good number of plates. As you guys can see, the bot lane tower is really low. So here, the next fight is obviously going to be at the Herald, where me and Lucian are not. So here, I'm just clearing out the minions and seeing if I can actually get any kind of kill pressure onto the Draven, because onto the Lucian. I keep mixing up Lucian and Draven, because in a 1v1, I can definitely kill the Lucian. So here I'm just gonna shove in the wave. Not too concerned about that. Basically everybody aside from the Lucian is down at the Rift Herald area. And I'm gonna use this wave to of course do damage to the tower. I'm able to finally proc demolish and take down the tower. So here is where I want to go aggressive onto the Lucian. I exhaust him to slow him down, and I use basically I use everything on him. But it doesn't quite work out. We end up trading ultimates and trading exhaust, so overall we both pretty much get nothing out of it except trading of cooldowns, but I guess that's fine. So instead we do actually get the tower, so I did get the local gold from the tower, which is of course great, and solo gold as well. So here I'm going to back and get myself the cloak, of course almost toward that Bloodthirster already. And now since we did take down the top tower, Sona is dealing with the wave in top, so we can rotate over to mid and see if we can make anything happen. So we can see Vi also trying to make something happen in the mid lane. Orianna just trying her best to hold the lane, doing really well with that wave clear on her Q and her W. Can't really push down the tower or do anything of that sort with the Orianna around. Now we caught a glimpse of Lucian under the mid lane tower as well. So we do know that Lucian is also here. And yeah, it's really difficult to force anything here. So really what we're just doing is kind of just clearing the wave. We aren't really able to really force anything here. And we're taking a decent amount of poke from the Orianna as well. So here we see Vi in the area, Sona's in the area as well. Pretty much looks like a fight is about to break out. Here I'm just going behind my team to see if we can make anything happen. Just a fake is the stun card onto the Vi, but really nice crescendo by the Sona to disengage for her team. So we aren't quite able to really get anything started there. So no fight unfortunately breaks out. Now obviously when you're a Draven, you kind of do want fights to break out in the earlier stages of the game, which is where you're strong, because you're obviously going to fall off later on. So yeah, so here we do spawn an opportunity for the fight. They're going for a 3-man tower dive onto the bot lane. So we are going to respond to that and see if we can actually stop them from doing so. Now they unfortunately get the kill and they get the tower already. But here I'm trying to snipe out the Riven. And we do actually get the snipe onto the Riven, and now we're onto the Vi. Exhaust her mainly for the slow, and she does actually manage to slinker away. Instead, Sona is going to be the sacrificial lamb, and we do end up getting the kill onto the Sona instead, allowing the Lucian and the Vi to actually escape pretty much scot-free. And yeah, so instead we do pick up the kills on Riven and Sona, and we're also going to pick up this bot lane tier 1. So at this point in time, as a Draven, we're actually doing really well. You know, we are 3-0. We do have both our first and second items completed, and we've also taken down 2 towers. So we're doing really well. We also have the Boots of Furor as well as the Stasis completed. So got, you know, pretty much 3 full items, of course inclusive of the boot enchant, and now we're gonna build towards the IE. So of course this is prime time for me to pick up a red buff, because obviously I'm fed, I'm doing well, so red buff is gonna be really good on me. So red buff acquired, and we see like a fight is gonna break out in the mid lane. So here I'm going to try to hit whoever I can. In this case it is going to be the Riven. So I do get the kill onto Riven with my ultimate. And again, a really nice disengage ultimate from the Sona. Pretty much blocks us from chasing. I do get a whole lot of damage onto the Vi. One more auto attack will kill the Vi. But I can't believe the Vi actually turned and ulted me now. And that's my first death of the game. Really over aggressive by me. That was really my bad. But honestly, I was not expecting the Vi to turn around and ult me when she is 1 HP. But I guess my team was a little bit too far behind me to really provide any pressure to cover me when I'm basically running into auto attack and I do die, which of course is my bad. So yeah, kind of a bad over-aggression by me. Kind of common when it comes to being a Draven, unless you're a really experienced Draven that understands your knowledge and your not knowledge, understands your limits, you know, really well, which is of course not me, because I don't play Draven all that much. So in a really strange turn of events, the enemy team has a free choice of whether they want to go Dragon or Herald. They not only go to the Herald, but they actually give up the Mountain Dragon, not Mountain Dragon, Infernal Dragon to a Shyvana. So, of course, we all know Infernal Dragon gives damage, everybody's favorite dragon. And Shyvana gets a lot of stacks from the dragons. I have no idea why the enemy team decided to go for second Herald instead of going for second Dragon. But yeah, so we overall come out of the situation with the second Dragon. So I'm not complaining at all, but I'm still really puzzled as to why the enemy team chose to go for the Herald instead of the Dragon. It doesn't really quite make sense to me. But either way, ours is not to question. We're just going to go over to bot lane, clear out the wave, and Fiora looks like she's going to continue on. Instead, we're just going to go over and take the Krugs. You know, especially on Draven, it's really important to farm wherever you can, because the more things you farm, the more times your axe is going to land back in your hand, the more stacks of adoration you will get, and the bigger the cash in you will get when you eventually get a kill. And yeah. So here, cleared out the bot side jungle, nothing left to farm there. Going back to the mid lane, and we see Lucian with another culling, kind of going wide there, not really hitting anybody. But here we notice the bush is warded, because Orianna obviously launched her ball straight at me, which she would not have done unless she knew I was there. So we do know that that bush is warded. And here, just as I walk away to go farm the blue side, a fight starts breaking out. So I'm coming back over to join the fight. And Riven already expended her ult, so that is something to take note of. And here, basically, we're seeing if a fight is going to break out again. In the end, nothing much really happens. Shyvana is off on the split push, trying to go for the second tier tower, but we can't really exert enough pressure to try to stop the enemy team from going there. So unfortunately, they're going to end up collapsing onto her, and there really is nothing we can do to help her when it's a 4v1, I believe, against the Shyvana. So here, back to farming, business as usual, being an ADC. So I'm going to get the wolves, and I see another fight breaking out, so I'm going to give up on the farm and rotate over to the fight. Twisted Fate dies to the Orianna ultimate. Here I'm trying to snipe out the Orianna with my ult. Managed to get her with the first one, but not the second one. I flash forward to auto for the kill. And here Vi manages to escape with a little bit of HP again, although she did have GA. Really nice interrupt by the Nami onto the Riven, allowing me to pick up the kill onto the Riven. And here both these, the Lucian is really low, and of course Sona is really squishy, so we do have a lot of kill pressure here. So here we're just going to focus the tower. No need to go close to proc the demolish, we can simply auto it down. So here got the tower, we're going to try to go onto Lucian, but he flashes away. Almost killed the Sona, but I get ulted by the Vincent, and here I know I'm in trouble because I'm in a 3v1, nothing much Nami can do to help me, especially since she is 1 HP herself. So she has to flash away, and our team looks like they want to re-engage. Shyvana, Irelia, as well as Twisted Fate is coming back to, basically all they end up doing is kind of chasing the enemy team away. Nothing too much comes of it. Shyvana gets a little bit counter jungling done. And yeah, so she spots the Lucian actually trying to take the red buff. She gets caught out by the Vi and the Orianna, tries to escape. Does manage to immune the Orianna ultimate with her own, being unstoppable of course, and does manage to actually escape, but did have to expend her ult to actually run away. So at this point, we're 6-2, we got the boot enchant, we got the triple crit items, and we're almost to the fully completed moral reminder. So of course, we're Draven, we're really strong. However, we are not really scaling very well. We are into the mid game, and we're going to start to fall off really soon. And of course, Draven did get that nerf on his Q as well, which I did mention in my patch notes review, that I really don't think the change makes too much of a difference, and I really don't. But what does make a difference is me getting caught out like that, getting chain CC'd by the Sona ultimate, and also getting hit by the Orianna ultimate and Lucian ultimate. So 3 ultimates to kill me. In the grand scheme of things, you know, I would say it's worth it for them because I'm really fed at this point. But, you know, they won't have 3 ultimates for some time. So if my team gets into a fight anytime soon, they will be able to take advantage of the fact that 3 ultimates on the enemy team are down. So here Fiora getting caught out by the Vi. I don't know why Fiora did not repost the Vi ultimate. Like, the Vi ultimate is one of the easiest things to repost because it's really obvious that she's coming in, and all you need to do is tap W and you basically immune the Vi ultimate. But the Fiora, not the best mechanically, obviously, so she does end up getting hit by the Vi ult and does end up dying. Which is really unfortunate because our team is basically dying left and right, left and right. So here I have respawned and I'm trying to defend our mid lane tier 2 tower, but that's a really big challenge because Orianna has a lot of range with her ball and is able to poke me out a lot. So here she procs Electrocute, does burst me down, but of course not enough to one-shot me. Now she doesn't have Electrocute and Ultimate anymore, so doesn't quite have a lot of kill pressure on me despite the fact that I am actually low. So together with my Bloodthirster and Nami's healing, I am able to pretty much lifesteal back to a healthy state. Enemy team does end up picking up the dragon, nothing too much we could do about that one. I just spawn the mid lane wave, get a couple more stacks of Adoration, and I'm gonna head over to picking up the red buff. Fiora, for some reason, trying to pick up the red buff herself, but she's not doing really well, so I just take the red buff. And I'm gonna move on to taking the Raptors. And so now we can reset. Presumably, I believe I have the Maul Reminder. There we go, Maul Reminder and Longsword. So almost to our last item being the Guardian Angel already. And now we're just gonna, continue on our farming. Alright, so here we spot out the Orianna trying to take the blue buff. Now, I don't really want to mess with the Orianna because Orianna does a lot of damage, and I do believe she can burst me down 1v1. So I'm not going to really want to mess with her. Didn't mind fighting the Riven though, but Riven did back off. Here we actually spot all three of them in our blue side jungle. Just a Fate ults over to a fight between the enemy bot lane and the Fiora. And Fiora does manage to pick up a kill onto the Sona. We do know that the enemy team is coming to cut them off, and they wisely did retreat in the correct direction, not towards the enemy team, so they are able to escape scot-free. Fiora now in the bottom lane. So here it looks like another fight is gonna break out really soon, just based on both teams posturing. Here I'm just clearing mid lane, getting mid lane priority. I get ulted by the Vi, I stasis immediately and flash back to the safety of the backline. And here I try to ult, but Vi is in her GA, doesn't end up doing too much. Here I'm trying to kill the Vi. Someone does get the kill onto the Vi, and I am able to get the kill onto the Riven, I believe, for a huge cash-in. And we're gonna see if we can continue chasing. But Orianna, as you guys can see, kind of scaled into the late game already. Does a whole lot of damage with her QW combo, so you have to be really, really cautious. So here Twisted Fate flashes forward for the stun, and I get hit by another QW combo, and I'm basically left at 1 HP. That could have very easily killed me, but thankfully it did not. And Orianna tries to go for it with her QR combo, but doesn't really quite work out. And here I believe I'm really, really close to GA, so I'm trying to farm one last camp so that I can get my GA. Yeah, there we go. Got the big raptor enough to get my GA. So here I'm satisfied enough to back and pick up my GA, which gives me full build right as I hit level 15 as well. Alright, so there we go. Health mana restored, GA is up and ready. Full level, full build, everything is all golden. And now we're just going to pick up our red buff. No need to farm the Krugs, of course, because obviously we are full build already. And now, this is the point in the game where you start seeing Draven's weaknesses. Now, we are full build, but Draven really doesn't scale very well. If you notice how much damage Orianna does, it's, of course Orianna is a great late game scale. And now you can really see how Draven kind of falls off in the late game. It's already like 20 minutes into the game. Here I'm just trying to damage whoever I can. I think that the Vi jumps in on everybody. We do get the kill onto the Vi. I'm kiting out. I do get the kill onto the Riven, but I'm in a 1v4. Someone is actually reviving, and 1v3 actually, because that was the Shyvana reviving. Here you guys can see I get destroyed 1v1 by the Orianna. So yeah, not the most fun for me. But in the meantime, Fiora is actually on the split push and is able to actually get the top inhibitor. So we do actually have 2 inhibitors on the enemy team, which is a very significant advantage. Fiora even goes for the 1v3 and does manage to actually kill off the Sona. and the rest of the enemy team decides not to pursue her, and we have so much pressure on the enemy team with both inhibitors in top and bottom lane. With Dragon and Elder Dragon both up, this is really huge, because the enemy team is going to be stuck trying to clear the waves, and their Vi is dead, only just respawned, and here everybody is on the Elder Dragon trying to burst down the Elder Dragon. So getting the Elder Dragon basically means we could also get a free Baron. Now Orianna tries to come over for the steal. Fiora very wisely goes over the wall to disrupt her and doesn't actually die. So everybody gets an Elder Dragon. I have respawned and I got the Elder Dragon as well. So really good. I'm pinging to attack the Baron, but honestly here, Shyvana makes a big blunder. Going in 1v3 against the enemy team does actually end up killing the Vi with the Elder Dragon execute. However, actually technically I would say that isn't a blunder. I would say that the blunder is not going for Baron. Like, I don't know why she's not going for Baron. Here I flash forward, try to kill the Draven, but as you guys can see, I really don't do that much damage anymore despite being full build. And Orianna does do a whole lot of damage. So yeah. So here I'm trying to go and do some kind of damage. Here I stasis the Orianna ultimate and the Crescendo as well. And here you guys can see I instantly get bursted by the Orianna and I instantly die. Now this is gonna happen. This is not the last time that's gonna happen. So I really am kind of getting destroyed by the Orianna because I'm really squishy. I don't do enough damage and I'm just getting destroyed. Put very simply. So if you guys notice, my GA is down. And I actually replaced the GA with the rapid fire cannon, so now I have a little bit of increased range to try to be able to attack the Orianna with. But as you guys can see, it's also not really working out. So my team is finally onto the Baron. Everybody still has Elder Dragon buff up and available, so if the enemy team comes to contest, all we need to do is turn on them, kill them all, and either end the game or get the Baron and end the game. So here the whole team gets the Baron except for me, because of course I am dead. Still 10 more seconds before I am up and available. And yeah, so you can see now I have 100% crit build with the Maul Reminder as well in the mix. Alright, so here the name of the game is obviously to end the game. So here the enemy team has 0 inhibitors left. This should be a pretty easy win. Like, all we need to do is march down the same lane and pretty much just end the game. Like, there's nothing they can do against the Baron minions. But instead we're splitting up to push in all 3 lanes, which is not really the worst in the world. But I think just going down one lane probably would have been better because it would be way hard to stop us. I believe Elder Dragon buff has already expired, so we only have the Baron buff remaining. But Baron buff is, of course, way more than enough to end the game. So here Lucian gets caught out. One auto attack from me basically does like half of his HP and he dies instantly. In the meantime, one Orianna shockwave basically does half of my HP. So I get destroyed instantly, but we do end the game. So yeah, you guys can see the strength of early game Draven and see the weakness of late game Draven. So anyways, I'll leave you guys with the stats as usual. So thank you guys for watching the video and goodbye.